The second story is about a person who was fairly learned and in a high position, and this person heard about a monk who was supposed to be very wise and somebody whom he felt that he should learn from. So he went all the way to this monk and he said that I want to learn from you. He said, I am so and so, and I have come from there, and I have done this in my life, and I have earned these degrees, and I am in such and such position, and so on. He kind of gave an elaborate introduction about himself, and he said that I want to learn from you. So the monk looked at him and he said that, sorry, but I cannot teach you. So this guy was very surprised. He said, say hello, I've come all the way and I heard so much about you and I'm very keen on learning. But the monk said, sorry, but I can't teach you. So this guy was little, kind of not so very happy about this. He again tried to convince, he come all the way, I'm so and so and this and that. So he kind of tried convincing this monk, but the monk just said, sorry, I can't teach you. So this guy was quite, kind of flustered, and the monk, what he did was he took up a cup of tea which was kept for them to drink, and he picked up a kettle, and he started pouring tea into a cup which was already full of tea, and the tea started overflowing out of the cup and onto the saucer and then onto the floor. This guy was amazed. He said, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, and this whole tea is flowing outside, right? So this guy didn't say anything. He just kept on pouring the tea, and the tea kept on flowing outside. And then after some time, when the whole floor was full of tea, he kind of got up and started going. And that's when this guy suddenly realized something, and he took the cup, he emptied whatever tea was there in the cup, and he came running behind the monk saying, I'm ready to learn. Yeah, so that's my second story. Well, people are into rating my story. Okay, so that's a good encouragement, but I would rather have thoughts than evaluations. I guess there's a slight difference. Right, so you can share what it means to you, if that's what you'd like to share. Okay. Bijit says we are empty cups right now. Okay. Vipri, I'll answer your question a little later. Right now we are on to stories, so we'll stick to stories. Okay. Ashwini says, oh, Sejal also couldn't hear the second story. But I really don't think I can repeat the whole story, but I'm sure somebody can put it down for you, right? If you request, somebody can, not now, maybe later on, type it and send it across, this story, or maybe I'll have it, if I have the story somewhere, then I can pull it out and send to you, right? Or send it to all of you, right? Right, some of you are having some issues. Somebody saying I could not listen first half now. That's Bhargavji. That's okay. As I said, this is the first session. We're settling down. We're getting to understand this little web classroom. So don't worry too much. This is the first session. As I said, just an introductory session. See if you can settle down. Yes. Okay, so I'll move on to the third story. Okay, let me tell the fourth story first, then I'll come to ring the bell, right? So I want to first talk about this one. What is Zen, right? another monk story. Uh, if you're familiar with the word Zen, right? Zen is essentially a kind of a Chinese or Japanese, more of Japanese philosophy or spiritual philosophy or kind of a religion. It's not really a religion, but it's a kind of a spiritual way of living, you can say. Right. So this is a story from Zen where this guy goes to a monk and says, "Hey, I want to learn Zen." So the monk says that I don't think I'm the best guy to learn Zen from, but I know a lady, an elderly lady who lives down the road. At the corner is her tea shop. Why don't you go to her? And I think she's the best Zen teacher. So the side guy says, okay. So he goes down to this little tea shop and he goes up to this lady and says that I want to learn Zen. And this elderly lady just gives him a whack, one big slap on his cheeks. Fadak. This guy is suddenly, taken completely by surprise. Why did she hit me? And that too in front of everybody. He's so embarrassed, he immediately kind of runs away from there, from the shop, and kind of hurt, right? And he goes back, and then he's thinking. He's saying, "Why did she hit me? All I asked was, will you teach me Zen?" And this lady whacked me. So she was very surprised. But he also became very curious. He said, there must be a reason why she kind of slapped me. It can't be just simple no reason, right? So he said, okay, let me go back again tomorrow. But obviously he didn't want to go as he had gone the first day, so he kind of disguised himself. Okay. And he went to her tea shop and went and sat in one corner quietly. He obviously didn't have the guts to go and ask her again to teach, right? So he sat down in one corner quietly in a disguise and started observing what was going on in the tea shop, right? And as he saw, he started noticing how this lady is serving the tea, how graciously she is serving the tea, how meticulously she picks up everything, how she interacts with each customer, and a lot of things. He started observing little by little how this lady was working and running her tea shop, how in such amazing way she was making and serving the tea to her customers. And as he watched her doing her work with tea, as in making and serving, he learned what is Zen. That's the third story. Any thoughts? Rajesh, are you able to hear or see videos? Okay, I just wait for some responses. Yep, anybody else? Mm-hmm. Okay, so a couple of people are talking about observation. Rama is talking about being in the moment. Okay. So Priya says Zen is a way of life. Mm. I like Darshan's comment. When you're ready to learn, you allow others to slap you. Yes, that's an interesting one. Okay. One of the things about, at least about these stories, um, is that these stories don't have just one kind of an end thought to it, or kind of a moral to story. There are so many thoughts that can come out. They're almost like each of these stories is like an onion. The more you peel it off, the more layers come in, right? So Ashwini, don't worry if you didn't get it. I mean, the idea is not to get it. It's not like there's a catch at the end of it and you need to get that, and if you haven't got it, you haven't. Sometimes it's a good idea not to get it, so that just stick with the story and kind of let it be a little germ in your mind, let it rotate in your mind, and as it kind of rotates, it tells you a lot of different things, right? So, okay, Beecher says Miss third story. Okay, let's see. I'll take help of people who are attending who could hear the stories and see if we can document these stories, right? Right. So, yes, there are many ways to learn, and there are many things to learn from each of these stories. Yeah. Okay. So let me go on to the to the fourth story. Right. The fourth story is called the Ring the Bell story. Right. Sure. You just have to mail to everybody, Amit, and that would help everybody, right? Yes, it is also being recorded, Prakash. So yes, you can replay it later. Although I'm still trying to figure out how will I upload it, but I'll tell you that later. Okay, let's get on with the fourth story. Yeah. Okay, this story is about a guy who went to another, let's call him again a guru or a monk, and he went and sat in front of this guru, and he said that I have come to learn from you. So the guru said, very well. Okay. So this person said, okay, I am ready to learn. So the guru looked at him and said, I am ready to teach. So this guy was a little confused. He said, okay. He waited for a little while. 5 minutes passed away. Nothing happened. So he said, again looked up to the guru and said that I am ready to learn. So this sadhu, not really a guru, a sadhu, looked at him and said, I am ready to teach. I said, okay, so maybe he'll teach me now. So he waited 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes passed, but this guy isn't doing anything. So he said, sir, I am ready to learn. So this sadhu turns to him again and says, yes, I am ready to teach. So this kind of went on, and obviously this student was quite perturbed. Nothing is happening. This guy, I'm saying I'm ready to learn, and this guy is saying I'm ready to teach, right? So after some time, he was really very confused, and he was it's been a couple of hours he has been sitting. So he finally decided that I need to possibly give up. So he started getting up, and that's when the sadhu asked, what happened? He says, no, I'm not learning anything. I don't know what to do. So he said, okay, sit down. Right? And he picked up a bell, right? I'm picking up a glass here, not a bell, but to show that it's a kind of a bell. Just think that this is a bell, right? So he picked up a bell and he said, can you hear the lovely sound? So the student said, no, sir. He says, but it's a nice bell. He says, I don't know. He says, does it make nice sound? He said, I don't know. He said, how will you know it makes a nice sound? So this guy said he picked up a stick lying next to him, and he said he kind of played it on the glass, on the bell, sorry. And he said, yeah, it makes a nice sound. He said, you want more sound? And he said, yeah. And he again beat the glass again. Sorry, beat the bell again. And he said, you want more sound? He said, yes. So he again beat the bell again. So he said, now you understand how learning will happen. He said, yes, now I understand how learning will happen. He said, I am ready. And the Guru said, I am ready. And they both started. So that's my story number 4.